Okay, and we are live, I believe. I'm starting the song over just because I can do that. Am I live? Oh, sounds like I am live. Oh, hello, Zodberg. That's a cute Gisriel. Cornbread, don't forget. Thank you. Sorry, let me send out. Boom. I know, it's confusing presently. I'll still probably do these on Twitter and Blue Sky. But, hello. I said Zod. Hold on. Cornbread, Purple Goop, Nathaniel Foga, Sinram, I saw you there. Austin, Will, I saw earlier. K Master. Hello. How's it going? Sinram left an epic Hudsucker proxy comment. I really got to give him credit for that one. I've not actually gotten to sit down and read it, but when I did read it, it was actually pretty good. It was good. I don't know why I said it that way. No, it is. It's long comments. At first you go, "Oi," and then his was like had all this stuff, and it was really good. Bedella Butterfly, hello, welcome to the show. Let me just grab my power cord because I realized I did everything but that. Okay, here we go. Oh, Pup is here. Man, we got a crew. We got a good crew. We got a good audience here. Hold on. Let me just get the... You know what they say. It's like one of the things you're supposed to have on streaming is always have your computer plugged in. And I didn't. I don't know why. I had it all. I mean, I have it ready. I just had to... I know. Okay. All right. Let me switch to the camera if you don't mind. Let me go... Hello, welcome to Movie Crap Live. How's it going? Sorry we're like 5 minutes later, I guess, but normal show. How's it going today? Hope you're all doing... Oh, Jordan Salafalo here. Yes, this week will be a lot lighter than last week. Not that the world is any better, but it'll be lighter. Yes. Hold on. Let me bring up there. Austin's here. Will, I think Will is about to have a birthday, and I think Austin also is what I got from that. Yes, I think this will be a fun show. I'm excited. For that. Ooh, King Boo. That's a good character. I haven't played it in a little bit, but I like hearing about Austin playing Mario Kart. I just like Dry Bowser. Dry Bowser rules. Best character. But I played Luigi. I haven't done King Boo. Is there any advantage? Like, is there a universally agreed upon best Mario Kart? I'm curious about that. If anybody in the chat knows, please let me know. Not much this past week. I will say, I'm going to say this right now, is I had a rough night with kids waking up, so there's not going to be any timestamps right after this goes up. This is going to be, sorry, Super Dusky. I'm going to do the show, gonna do a few things to clean up the kitchen, then I am going to bed. So timestamps tomorrow, just if I can get through the show. So I'm not gonna ask for the super chats too much or anything, but like if you can keep me awake, I'd appreciate it. I don't want to wake up and it's 3 a.m. and I've been snoring for 2 hours. But maybe people will like that. Maybe it'll work out. I don't know. Anyway, I can't think of too much of what I watched. Working on some cool Thanksgiving stuff and all that stuff. Bloxy. Well, thank you for being here anyway. I appreciate it. You will always clean Kevin J's PB bottles. Well, I appreciate all the times you have, Bloxy. Thank you for your normal ones. I'm trying to think other stuff. I can't think of any. Well, just watching some random cartoons with my kids. My son still loves Woody Woodpecker. All that stuff. I watched. Hey Gary, how's it going? My wife and I saw We Live in Time, which was really good, kind of romantic drama, or a solid romantic drama. Let me say solid. I don't know if it was. We keep doing this like kind of out of order sort of thing. I don't know if that was like the I don't know if it made necessarily a lot of sense doing that, but it was a pretty good. It was a fine enough movie, you know. I like Florence Pugh in it. I don't know if I do a full review or anything, but it was like a solid airport movie. Kind of, oh, have airport tellers here. But it was, I mean, I like enjoyed watching it and going on the date with my wife and stuff, but the movie was I don't know. It doesn't really stick with me, but it's like it kind of cut around, what is that, out of non-linear, I guess. But it was like, why was it non-linear? I feel like that's like the biggest problem with non-linear films. Like they have no conceptual reason for that to exist. Oh, hello, Clam. How's it going? It's just like you're like, okay, you did this. But I don't know if it really like there are certain things like, oh, is that going to come back? And you didn't. And you're like, why is this? There's certain things like you find out later, and like, oh, that makes this more serious, but it like didn't. I don't know. That's like my quick review of that. If you're gonna see it, you won't be like, oh, that was horrible. You'll, oh, I haven't watched Piranha 78. I've been meaning to do that like for my whole life. So thanks, Will, for suggesting it. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, I went to this thing, a memorial. I think I talked about it. I went to Howard Beckerman, who's a big animation history teacher, who's taught. I think he was the first person to teach. They said at this thing I went to, memorial for him, he was the first person to teach animation history for college credit. So in my mind, he's the first. But I went to his funeral in July, and they had ASIFA had kind of a memorial for him at School of Visual Arts. So I went, and it was really great. I forgot they gave out his drawings at the end, and I forgot that and just left, and I felt like fucking stupid. But it was cool seeing everybody. It was cool being back at SVA, and seeing a lot of his cartoons, and that was just amazing. So anyway, it was. I guess I don't know. I'm just sharing that with y'all. But it was wonderful, and it was cool being in that SIFA thing. The one thing that was funny is the volume was really loud at one point, and you have like all these older animator guys and all this stuff, and they all did like ridiculously animated like this sounds too loud thing, and that was the only part I was like, I wish I had filmed that, because it's like really funny watching, 50 people who are older than me do like Bugs Bunny spit take kind of things. It was like legitimately. But it was great. I'm glad I got to go to that again. If there are any Howard Beckman things, I would go. But it was wonderful to go again. I shouldn't have forgotten the drawing thing. Anyway, Super Dusky says, getting that overtime tonight. So cheers, Jim. Thank you, Super Dusky. And I will reveal the Panka? What? Which thing? Oh, Moomin? I thought people would like Moomin. Wait, what? I'll drink this for Super Dusky. Super Dusky, cheers to you. And this is the... Where's my monitor? Sorry. This is the Fusion, again, because they had a 2-for-1. That's why I got it. And it is the Paradise Pulse. Not sure. We'll see if it's better than the last one. I remember these. Are they okay? I don't know. Anyway, cheers to Super Dusky. Thank you. I guess you mean move. I thought people would like the movement thing. You mean, here, I'll move Felix. For you. But thank you very much for that. November babies? Oh, I guess we do. Super Dust. Wow. Interesting. Maybe that's my whatever. I don't know what the star signs are or anything. Yeah, it is the blue one. I don't know. I saw a Christmas energy drink, and I think I might try it, where it's just the outside is. But I was doing something, and I didn't get it, and I wish I had. Move Kermit so we can... Okay, here, there we go. Panko, Moomin, there we go. Oh, I need to talk to Izzy, and that was fun. Alright, I can't think of... I feel like there's probably a movie I watch, and I'm like, blanking. So let's just get to the... Okay, I've had a few videos. Sucker Proxy came out late last night. It seems like most people like it more than me, but that's fine. hey, we can disagree. The Invincible Fight Girl short and the Galloping Gaucho, was that before or after last week? I think it was after. Who knows? Doesn't matter. But I've done all my works ones. Um, for throwbacks, I had what do I have? Oh man, really drawing a blank here. Oh, now I remember. Okay, I had Big Hero 6, which I actually recently watched with my son who wanted to watch it, and I was like, it is like the most successful. I think I said in the thing, it's the most successful Disney action adventure. Most of those like flop like pretty hard, and like come and go. And like Big Hero 6 like is the only one I think really, right? I mean, I can't think of like that's a pure like action superhero thing. I can't think of any others that were as successful. But yeah, my son chose to watch it and I rewatched it. I was like, it is like a solid, it's just not, doesn't stand out at all. It just feels very superhero genre. But and then I think it's Friday. I have a throwback to the Babadook. Because it's been 10 years since Babadook. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I guess I can't yeah, those, I do need to do a community post for Blue Sky, and I haven't actually posted it in the videos, so I need to take care of that. But I am sort of doing the Blue Sky is interesting. The main things I would change is the video. They when I watched the trailer for Mission Impossible, they cut it into 2 videos because they don't have the power, which I knew because I could post my kind of short for Invincible Fight Girl couldn't be on there because it was too big. And that's weird. And I've noticed a lot of the places that just post news aren't there as much. So I think like one of the things I liked about Twitter was the news element, which that seems to be decreasing there, but Blue Sky's not picked that up. So those are my only real issues with it, but I like it. In general, the content is better, what people are posting, but it's like I feel like we're not there yet. I guess that's not the attitude everyone's bringing to it, but it's like, I think it. I don't know. I think it. It takes time, but like a lot, like Hollywood Reporter, Screen Crush, all that stuff, just aren't really posting stories, and if they are, they're like not posting them as well as Twitter. So it feels like no one's taking it as seriously yet. But let's just wait. I can't think of anything else, really. So let's just get into it. It is Gary Will. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Yeah, it does feel weird that the 2014 movies are 10 years old. Like Big Hero 6 was like, wow. That one feels. I keep dropping. Sorry, that one feels weird because that was like sort of the first big animated movie I saw after doing Pizza Party, and like sort of I was sort of changing and the audience was sort of changing. So that one feels like a little. I don't love that movie or rewatch it a lot, but I sort of look at that as a kind of a change, I guess. And Nolan and I did meet the voice of Baymax, and he was really nice. All right, I think it's in the New York Comic Con video. I believe it is. All right, so this and everything I do is for by you, the fans, either through the Patreon, where you can all sorts of cool stuff like postcards, which I'm going to deal with this week and send out. My exclusive commentary series, which I'm going to have some new ones of those. You get more power in the movie review vote, which I also need to edit one of those soon. There's a lot of stuff coming, basically, but it's really cool. But if you are not signed up for the Patreon, which is linked below in the description, you can give me a super chat during the show and keep me awake and having energy with this amazing Fusion 7-Eleven energy drink that Moomin is holding. And yes, it helps me to be able to continue to do this, buy new equipment, get stickers, help pay bills, all sorts of wonderful things that help me continue to do this show. So if you're financially able to do so, I very much appreciate it if you can. That would be really cool of you. But if you're just watching, and just like watching the show and things like that, then that's cool too. Give it a like, which always helps, or subscribe. But if you just watch and don't even have a YouTube login or whatever, I appreciate you being here. Hello, Daniel Bergen. forget what my top movie of 24. Oh, it was Strange by the Lake. But Song of the Sea and Whiplash are solid. Whiplash got a strong. Oh, hello, Dante. Got a strong re-release. Song of the Sea didn't, which is unfortunate. I think Song of the Sea gets sort of forgotten, unfortunately. Anyway, also, you should check out my Discord. If you like everyone in this awesome chat community and people I'm talking to, they're there in the Discord. There's a daily question in general every week. There's the art self promo where you can post all sorts of your art and give it self promo. We're doing stuff with Blue Sky. There's the playing cards thing, which these playing cards have now I've put Jaws in with. I found these in a couch and I mixed them with these, and now we got this like weird deck going on. It's not much to show off. It's just like it doesn't even make sense. I mean, I just have them to flip them around. But there's a licensed playing card channel. There's all sorts of cool stuff in the Discord. They're watching Austin Powers Gold Member. That's a choice for Austin. Wow, that's interesting, Austin. Okay, all right. And Cornbread. Sorry, Cornbread does his thumbnail predictions as well, which I'll check out after the show or at some point tomorrow or some point. But it's a really great community. It's really wonderful, and I highly recommend it. It's the Discord I'm most active in. Link is in the description down below. Also, you should check out, we have stuff like, or you should check out my Blue Sky, Twitter, which is only links, Tumblr, Facebook fan page, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, did I say Tumblr? It's all down there, just like, go there. There's a lot of them, I don't know. I'm not on Threads. That's, like, couldn't give Zuckerberg another thing, in my mind. All right. So, this is the big story of the week. Grape Ghost Gang, rise up. Thank you, Austin. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Now my grocery store has a ton of those things. And it's like not special. Maybe I should have done it again. Anyway, this is the big story this week. I think all of entertainment stopped with this confirmation. The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, earlier this year, if I have to catch you up on the drama, it was revealed that he was always late to set. He was always, weird, and he was spending hours late to set, and he was always like preoccupied. And he also, to help productivity, he would pee in bottles, water bottles, to save time so he didn't have to walk back to his trailer. Then an assistant would then hold these pee water bottles. And then he did an interview with GQ because he has a new movie called The Red One, which is coming out, which I don't think, if it was on streaming, I think people would see, but probably I don't expect that to do well. But he is in Moana 2, which is going to do crazy business. But he had an interview and he said sometimes he is late to set. He will admit that. And he admitted to having pee bottles. Now, I think this was probably, I'm going to move this up actually. This is probably the big announcement that he was willing to admit that he had the pee bottles. And he also admitted, and you don't need to read this article at all, I'll sum it up for you. He basically said in there, yes, I have the pee bottles, and yes, sometimes I don't label them correctly, and I think I'm drinking water, then I drink my own pee, and then I go gross, then I try to reach for the water, and I grab a different pee bottle, so now I've drank my pee from 2 days ago, and then I eventually drink my water, which I hope is my water. Anyway, I'm not good at labeling them, and I should stop peeing in bottles, which then he grabbed a yellow water bottle. Point is definitely we know The Rock drank his own pee. There is no debate on this. It's 100%. Sidram says, so are we thinking less of Dwayne or Vin currently? I think Vin's kind of winning out because Vin has never been in a situation that I'm aware of where he drank his own pee. I mean, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that with Vin Diesel. The Rock, he admitted that he pees in bottles. He literally admitted that, and to drinking his own pee too, which he totally did. You don't need to read the article. I just told you what happened. You should spread that rumor around. Cheers to you, Sidram. Thank you for that. No, it's canon. The Rock drinks his own pee. I mean, I do look, the one thing I do for real like about this is like, he could have denied. He could have denied they pee from bottles. Like, no one was coming after him. And I like that he goes, look, I do that. Like, you could not, that's the part I love. Like, it was like, you couldn't not admit. Oh, I love it. I just love that he. I mean, it's like, do I respect it? Sure, but if someone came to me, I would have been like, no, I don't. Pee in bottles. That's gross. Only a gross person would do that. Just, I just love that he admit he's like, look, sometimes I'm late, but pee in bottles all the time, dude. Just you can't stop this stream going into bottles and me accidentally drinking it. Look, The Rock isn't proud of himself. I hope he brushes his teeth because, whoa, is pee acidic? I don't actually know. Somebody look that up. Just yeah, I agree, Will, about Jake Kasdan. Jake Kasdan has taken a going to take a hit with this, but that's why I think last week I was talking about how he signed on to the live action Lego and to doing another Jumanji. So I think he's running for cover as we speak. So also in other The Rock news, this is a real thing. I know I just went on a bit that The Rock drinks his own pee, but so like I don't know if you knew about this. This is like a real thing. Um, like Jim, I'm not putting that in my search history. I would love. I would. If I hope somebody will be acidic to teeth. Just some. I just want to know. No, I agree. Jake Kasdan used to be a lot better. I have seen TV set, and I saw Zero Effect long time. I'm with you on Jake Kasdan. Well, where was I? Okay, so if you don't know about this, this is a real. This part I'm not making up. So there's a special IMAX that Christopher Nolan loves, and he has a specific seat. Like he has a designated seat. There's a real you. After you look up the P thing, you can look this up. It's a real thing. And so apparently when Oppenheimer came out, The Rock found this seat. He found the seat to watch Oppenheimer, like the Christopher Nolan seat, which they should really have a premium for, I think. He found the seat, he watched Oppenheimer, and he said, this is, wow, it's so amazing, it's so wonderful. And then he was like, that's why the red one is going to look so great in IMAX. And I was like, dude, you like, look, I'm not the biggest Oppenheimer fan, but the fact that he watched Oppenheimer in like the seat that everyone's like, this is the best IMAX seat, and was thinking about fucking red one is pretty. I mean, I think it's just because he's a salesman and he's a promotion machine, but it's just like I would never admit to sitting in an amazing theater seat and thinking about some dumbass bullshit while Oppenheimer's playing. Like that's like I was like, wow, man, you were just like 2 for 2 with an amazing press tour. I'm just like it's like I was thinking yeah, it's I know. And then he was like, but I didn't want to get up in the movies long, so I had to pee in a bottle, and then I put it down. I thought it was my water bottle, and I drank it again, which is embarrassing. Anyway, I have a serious issue with this bottle thing. Somebody should mark them. But it was dark. How was I going to know? Anyway, the point is, The Rock, if you shouldn't smell what he's cooking, because he's probably involved. It's like a 98% chance. 100% chance he's drank. I just think he's drank pee. I would like him to acknowledge that. If he's man enough to admit he pees in bottles, I want him to be man enough to admit has he drank his own pee. I just want to know. I think that's fair. Anyway, we're going to move on from pee bottles. I had a lot of fun with that. All right. So, in Warner Brothers pretends to us that they care about Looney Tunes news, there is a supposedly a secret Looney Tunes project. You might say, hey, that sounds like they don't actually have an idea and they just made up some bullshit, so we have a bit of hope. And yeah, you might actually be right about that. I assume what they're talking about is because The Day the Earth Blew Up is coming out, and I think if that is going to get good reviews, which I'm curious. Film critics don't have the greatest animation track record, let's say, so I am curious how it'll do with them, but I think they're expecting, it seems, and I've heard that rumor and rumbles that they're expecting something, and they sort of want to announce stuff around, and that's sort of what's being suggested, but they have said they have a surprise secret project going on. Who knows what that is, but there is something they're developing. There's nothing more to talk about there, but they've said it, and the big people Warner Brothers have said it. So we know there is actually something. What that is, we don't know. I hope it is a good thing. Hope it's not like we just decided we're just gonna not do anything else with them, which I don't think it is. But I actually think it would be cool if before Warner Brothers movies, they took out some trailers and put like a cartoon. That would be actually really cool. I think like a Bugs Bunny cartoon that's 6 minutes. Like most of the cartoons are like 6 minutes. Like I would like that before like I don't. What is the next Warner Brothers movie? I can't think of it. Right? Oh, do they have a big holiday movie? They're not doing Wicked, or are they doing Gladiator 2? No, it's Paramount. So, I can't. Oh, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, before the Lord of the Rings cartoon animated thing, they could have a Bugs Bunny and have it either be a parody or just be a good cartoon. I would just like a good cartoon. So this, okay. So a lot of people ask me to talk about this, and I guess there's enough room. I will. And I actually did see this in the wild. I saw this for real, so I can say it is, not a rumor or anything. There's the dolls for Wicked have been out there, and it has a QR code, and it says goes to wicked.com, which I'm assuming the website is actually Wicked or thewickedmovie.com or something like that. Wicked Movie Part 1 or something. Anyway, it went to a porn site and not to the actual Wicked website. I would act like this is a bigger thing, but like my kids get dolls and action figures. I never go to those websites ever. So and I don't know anyone who ever has. So to me, it's like, I mean, that's not good, but it's not. I don't think anyone like who even found out. Like, why would any? I don't know. I just find that to be the bizarre part because like someone actually did it though. So we'll see. I was like, but I did see it because it was a Target. I saw it said Wicked.com. I go, oh, they didn't do WickedMovie.com because I remember thinking that. And then I heard the thing. I was like, oh, well then. But has anyone been to Wicked.com? Somebody do that too. Somebody's watching this search history. It's just like ruined by this show. All right, I'm gonna do a bunch of smaller things up top because the Star Wars and the other stuff takes some time, and I don't want to hit you with. And let's have fun at the beginning. So, I'm just gonna talk about a bunch of trailers. Basically, the Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning 8, whatever it is. There was a new one. It came out, and it's highly suggested to be the final one, even though everyone look up things. It looks like it's the final one. It looked kind of cool. I wasn't the biggest fan of the last one. I think the Macquarie years, like 4, 5, and 6, I'm generally cool with. I think those are probably the best that franchise has gotten, in my opinion. So it's like, but I also think Mission Impossible sort of got a similar thing to Fast and Furious, where it was like really cool and hip and it's like fun and everyone liked it, and it sort of like stayed around maybe too long. But I still think the last one it's not a bad movie. It looked like, a big Mission Impossible movie. I'm excited for that. There have been a lot of questions on what's going to happen to the franchise because previously he didn't, Paramount was like, this is going to wrap it all up. Tom Cruise was like, no, I'm going to do more. And there's this constant rumor that Glenn Powell will take over the franchise, which seems really weird to me because there's nothing to hint at that at all. And we've already been through the Jeremy Renner will take over the franchise after Ghost Protocol, and that never happened. So I'm a little like, no. My only thing with this, and I've seen very little of the Mission Impossible TV show. But I've seen more of the movies than the show. I've seen like a few of the episodes. But to me, it's like, if you're going to do anything, make a show and make it post Tom Cruise movie, but like the old show or something. I think that would actually be the best way to take it, because I don't think cinematically people would be as forgiving, and you can't do the stunts and stuff. So it's like, why don't you do stunts on a TV level? Maybe like let Tom Cruise like be in the first episode or something, and then they all go off and stuff. I think that would work. And Paramount has a lot of the kind of that age range shows. So I actually think that could work. But his mom would be mad at it. Really? That's funny. Thank you for that, sir. I'm like, I don't think anyone should take it over because the thing with the Tom Cruise things is it was a show for a long time and even had a reboot a couple years before Tom Cruise did it, but it's like now known as a movie. So it's like it would probably be harder to even do a show. Like you kind of need to, I don't know, or you could just not do something with your IP, which is something no one's good at anymore. Other trailers, we had the Captain America, what is it? Captain America Brave New World or New World Order? I think it's Brave New World, isn't it? Brave New World, okay. Because it was New World Order, but then they changed it. It was a cool... the show kills the movie characters full circle. Oh, I love that suit powers. And then Tom Cruise can walk out of the premiere. Cheers to you. You know what? That would be awesome. I like this concept. To explain, if you didn't know, in the first Mission Impossible, everyone who isn't Tom Cruise at the beginning was a character in the show, and they killed everyone off and made the main guy, who John Boyd plays, a bad guy, and it was like sort of controversial at the time. Whereas now, like, no one, my age at least, and I'm sort of old and stuff, like even knows that. So you'd have to. Anyway, it was funny. Hello, Panavision. No, I remember they changed the title. So the new Captain America trailer was interesting because it didn't do the Marvel Studios typical logo, which I was actually surprised by, but then played like a really good Cap adventure kind of thing. Anthony Mackie looks great in it. I think him and Harrison Ford have like the right kind of chemistry. It does show a bit. Everyone's like, it shows everything. To me, it's like, I understand why they're doing it because they really need this movie to work, so I think they need to show stuff. But it looks just like an exciting, superhero sort of political or just takes place with politicians movie. But it was weird that they like tried to make it. It says Marvel Studios, but doesn't use like the logos and all that stuff. So I'm hoping for the best with it. I'm actually optimistic for that. Thunderbirds, however, I'm not really that into this. I don't know. I don't get like what the hook is still. The only thing I get is like Bucky looks cool in it. Like that's the only person I'm like, oh, good for somebody. He's been doing this for a while and he should get to look cool. And he does, but it's like I don't understand what the concept is. I don't get like why I'd be motivated to see it. I don't think audiences, I like Florence Pugh. I talked about that earlier. I think I like every actor who's in it, but why is it superhero though? And did I say Thundercats instead of Thunderbolts? Oops. Okay. Or Thunderbolts? Did I say Thunderbirds? I don't know what I said. You got it. Doesn't matter. Thunderbirds or go. Thunderbolts. Whatever. Thunderbolts. I'm not. Of the two, I'm into the Captain America thing. I'm not into Thunderbirds, Thunderbolts, Thundercats. I actually wrote Thunderbirds in my notes, which is funny. I want to know what the little asterisk thing is. That's like the only thing. I just don't get like. I'll say like I know there's been so much. Hey, Chan Talks More Movies. About like the Suicide Squad trailer and how they create all this cast. But the thing with the original Suicide Squad trailer is like you got the whole deal. And like this, it's like you have all these people together and Bucky's mad at them. And you're like, what are we doing? Like, I just don't get, like, in the Captain America trailer, I get everything. I know, I sort of understand what I'm going into. And this is like, okay, I still don't get it. Anyway, we had a What If trailer. I still don't love this show because What If, like, they try to give continuity. I'm like, that's not What If. It's just a bunch of random weird exercises. Don't ruin What If. Anyway, they have Storm. It sounded to me like the voice from the cartoon show. If I'm wrong about that, someone can correct me. That looked really cool. I'm excited for that element of it. The rest, I'm like, I don't like the animation style, and I wish it was more like the What If comics. I probably talked about it before, and maybe I saw that there was a new one. I'm not sure if someone uploaded it at a weird time, but the trailer for Carry On, which is about someone brings in a carry-on bag into an airport and they want Taron Egerton. It's Jason Bateman's like this terrorist evil guy, and he wants Taron Egerton to let his bag go through, or he's gonna like hurt his girlfriend or do evil stuff. It looks like a fun like holiday thriller that I would have on, so that while I'm wrapping presents or busy with something. It looks like a good one of those. I'm very excited for that. Anything I see from it, I'm like, yes. And I actually thought it was going to be on Thanksgiving because that's like the big travel weekend, And then it's not, and I was like super disappointed. And I'm like, what am I going to watch after I do dishes? Like the Mystery Science Theater marathon I always watch? Come on now. So I guess I'll watch it Christmas Day. Whatever. There's a new trailer for Y2K, which looks cool. I think I'm excited for Y2K weekend because it's like Y2K and werewolves. It looks like two crazy one night kind of movies that will not stay around very long. Back in the day when this Thanksgiving is a little crazy box office wise, but in a normal Thanksgiving there'd be like one big movie and you'd have like a junky action thing, and that era is gone. But like I think either of those would have played really well into that. So, but I'm excited. It was not as good as the first trailer, but it's still whatever. And I'm just going to throw this one out there because it's been, I don't know if it's called Film Twitter now or Blue Sky Cinephilia, or I don't know what we're calling it now. But everyone's talking about this hot, frosty movie. I watched the trailer today. We were watching some of it tonight. It's kind of fun. I recommend watching the trailer because you won't believe all the Hallmark people I know are super into it, are super happy about it. So yeah, it looks like a fun get drunk with kind of holiday movie. I don't know, but I felt like William Bibiani and Rachel Wagner and a couple of those critics who are big Hallmark people were all like really excited about it. So I don't know. It's directed by someone who did a lot of Schitt's Creek, but from what I saw, it's like kind of fun. I don't know. It's not as bad as other ones I've seen, but I'm not an expert in Hallmark movies. In case you didn't know. Okay. So. Okay, sorry, I thought I heard something. Okay, so if you didn't know, and I think I've talked about this one before, about what was it? The Blair, how back in the day, if you shot on video during when film reels were the prominent distribution method. Hold on, I'll be right back. 1 second. We're back. Sorry. Weird cat thing. Okay. What was I going to say? Okay. So before I mentioned this before, about how like 28 Days Later looked worse. Like when it was released on film, because they would basically shoot on video and then convert it to film, which is not going to look good, obviously. So apparently when they made Blair Witch, and I think this is probably because they really rushed that thing to video at the time when things weren't as set up for that. Supposedly when they made it on home video, they used the film scan and not the original kind of video scan. So there's a new restoration and they're finally releasing better versions of this. I assume this is because Lionsgate and the original Blair Witch people are working together to try to like correct things and get better payments and stuff like that. And it's the copy that they wanted out there. It makes more sense. I think this and Blair Witch and 20 Days Later are sort of like the two main culprits of this, where everyone was like, "Oh, it looks fucking horrible," but it wasn't. It was just It was transferred incorrectly. So it shows you what the difference is with transfers. But I just don't think. I don't understand why they did it incorrectly in the first place. But that's just like how people were at the time, and I think like that's standard what you would sort of do. So they're rescanning it, and there's a new version that's going to be that's going to be out on DVD, and supposedly I keep hearing streaming, but I don't have a date on that. There's a good bigger release. I hope it also has the documentaries. I would love to do, maybe at some point I should just do a video going through all the documentaries, and there's so much like material in it. It was really cool when I was into it, like reading through all the stuff. I got kind of into all the lore stuff at the time. That was fun. So if they have all that collected, that would be a good collection. So the people who made the Terrifier movies are going to be making a Silent Night, Deadly Night remake, and they're actually hoping to get it out next Christmas from a director called Mike P. Nelson, no relation to anyone Mystery Science Theater related. I think this would actually work really well with the Terrifier people if it's going to be super gory and stuff like that. I do question if Art the Clown was so big under the Christmas thing, and could you do that again the next year? However, a lot of people have also suggested that, and I heard on a couple of podcasts and things, that like most Christmas horror stuff does pretty well, actually, like the bigger ones. And so like I think Violent Night with David Harbour made about 80 million. Terrifier is gonna make over Terrifier 3 is gonna make over 100 million. So if you budget it correctly, you could do pretty well. So that's probably what they're looking at, is like there is a precedent for it. Now some of these, like the smaller releases, don't make that money, but Silent Night Deadly Night is a legacy name. You could probably make that. Like it's not a bad investment financial wise, I guess. So yeah, it's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll actually review the second one if that comes out. I think Garbage Day is the third one, right? Am I wrong about that? Anyway. So I'm actually sort of did this because I have to have one thing going to another. So I'm sort of just getting through some of these. Sorry, this is like not normally how I do the show, but I kind of thought it'd work there. Okay. So Idle Hands is getting a remake, which I actually didn't know in the Discord chat, because I asked them, I don't think I said this during Discord, I asked, like, what do you want me to talk about this week? And people were like, an Idle Hands remake. I hadn't heard about it. But Finn Wolfhard, Pizza Party's most famous fan, I guess, and his film Billy Burke have signed on to write a reimagining of the 1999 horror film, and Jason Reitman will produce. I think he would be a good choice for it. I'm not the biggest Idle Hands fan. I think part of the appeal, I will be, not to be gross, I think was Jessica Alba was the first thing I saw her in. So I don't know. I think you have to get the right kind of humor, but I also am like having a horror comedy again, I think could be really cool. So, and I think Finn Wolfhard could do a good job with it. So I'm surprised that Idle Hands is getting a remake, but that's the world we live in, I guess. But yeah, I guess you'd have to get like the right, like, if Finn Wolfhard is playing the Devon Sawa part, I'm assuming you'd really have to do a really good lead and a really good is it Warlock of the 90s? Thanks, Gisriel. You really have to get a good girl and a good lead. I think those, like, and then have two, like Seth Green and the other guy, I forget his name, but I really do think you would have to cast it correctly, because that was like, I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but I remember that lead floor, and I remember being a kid and seeing that post the trailers and wanting to see it because of Jessica Alba and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people like that, so I'm not trying to be, I think if you do it right, it could work, but we'll see. I don't know, like maybe they're doing a different kind of thing or something like that, but if you get like pretty girl and a really approachable kind of guy and stuff like that, or you could do a different thing and have it be all female and have a pretty dude or something like that. I don't know. Actually, that might be more interesting, to be honest with you. But you could just do the same thing, but you would have to really change it because if you do a direct remake and you don't get the casting, it's like sort of worthless. So, Jim Henson Studios. This is formerly Charlie I was going to say Charlton Heston. I don't know. Charlie Chaplin Studios, but is apparently there's been a lot of people who are trying to buy it, including it was the former home of A&M Studios and Charlie Chaplin Studios. And then it's been the Muppet or Jim Henson Studios forever. And there's been all sorts of things that the Church of Scientology wanted to make a bid and all these other creepy things. But then John Mayer and Mick G, not two people I've ever had that much faith in, have decided that they're going to take a bid on it. I'm not exactly sure. Seems like people want to figure out something with this, but I hope they do something with it. But I don't know. I hope they do something cool with it because that's such a great history. I just want it to be something where creativity is happening, you know. But that's a better thing than the Church of Scientology. Not by much. I don't really like John Mayer at all, or Mick G. But it's better than Scientology. So in this D23 Brazil news, the first thing. Hold on, need some water. The first thing is we learned sort of the idea of Cars 4 is being floated around because it was in some survey with a bunch of stuff that was announced or we did know about. To me, this is very unconfirmable and seems like sort of a mistake that Disney was considering announcing Cars 4 but didn't. Who knows? Basically, it's sort of a fluke sort of thing in my mind, but supposedly it's a thing they're considering. We don't know if Lightning McQueen is going to be back or what they're going to do or what the story's going to be or anything like that. We just know like they're sort of testing the waters of the idea of it, so it's like something they're at least sort of open to. There's not much more to talk about there. But we did learn that Ice Age 6 is going to be coming to theaters, actually. They had John Leguizamo, Ray Romano, and Queen Latifah announcing it. This is sort of a big deal because this is the first sort of Blue Sky movie that Blue Sky is not really involved in. And where it goes in the Disney, like, is it a Disney animated movie? Are they going to put this under a different banner? That wasn't announced at all. So it's sort of a very weird situation because like what are you going to do with this IP, who's going to make it, like what, nothing like that. But it was fairly official. It is going to happen, but where it's going. But I think what this okay, Rapway Mickey, I think what is going on with Disney, and this is going to go into the Star Wars thing, is basically Bob Iger is saying he will leave. Basically, you know, he's looking for a successor. And last time he left, and in 2019, I think Disney had the entire highest grossing movies of the, like it was all 10 were them, and the only one was Spider-Man, which they also made money off of. And so it seems like they're doing a similar thing. We're seeing the same thing with Ice Age 6. They like want all their IP performing at top levels. So you have things like like in 2019, you had Endgame, you had Rise of Skywalker, you had the Lion King remake, you had Frozen 2, you had every brand they had, every subcategory was doing that. And you see that now with their developing Toy Story 5, they're doing Frozen 3, they're, bringing Robert Downey Jr. back for the Marvel stuff. And what are they doing with Star Wars, I guess, is where we have ourselves now. But I think that's also why you see Ice Age 6, you have this year of Moana 2, you have Inside Out 2. They're really just like pushing everything out to make the most possible money they can, which is what Iger does. Iger's not really a creative guy. He's just let's push brand shit as much as we possibly can. But anyway, so what's going on with the Star Wars trilogy thing? Because I mentioned it last week, but a lot has kind of been announced and everything like that. So basically what happened is we found out that there is going to be a new trilogy of Star Wars movies written and produced by Simon Kinberg. supposedly is going to take place with Rey, and that is not. No one's sure if this is a separate Rey movie, or is connected to the separate Rey movie that was already been announced from. I'm not sure if I can say her name correctly, but the point being is that they are really looking at the episodes because those do so much better. Now, a lot of people have said, "Oh, well, Rogue One was a spinoff who did well, and that worked out. So maybe they can figure out a spinoff that does well." I think so. The thing with that whole thing is I think Rogue One was at a time when Star Wars stuff, people were very into seeing Star Wars on Christmas, and Force Awakens had just happened. It was the ideal time to release that. I do. Part of me thinks one of the reasons Solo bombed was because, well, one, it cost way too much. I mean, that's honestly the major part of it. But also, it's you got the audience expecting Star Wars movies on Christmas, and then they tried to go back to doing the summer, and I think it's all changed for that. So anyway, I do think the success of Rogue One needs an asterisk because it's you did well because you positioned it correctly. It's I don't know. I don't think it's as good as some people claim it is or anything like that. But it so they're trying to figure out something, and they very much want these new movies to be 10, 11, and 12. Even though we heard that the Skywalker saga was over, they're going to do new ones with Rey, and Rey would be Obi-Wan. The question that everyone has is, one, who will direct these? Kinberg, who is getting a lot of faith from Disney because he helped produce Deadpool and Wolverine. We know him and Sean Levy, who directed Deadpool and Wolverine, are close friends. There might be something there. And it might be true that the Solo Rey movie that the woman who was going to direct possibly could be leading into this. That's an idea people have had. Basically, no one knows, but we are aware that Disney is looking at the fact that they could do 10, 11, and 12. There are 3 Star Wars kind of release dates. One next year, I think it's summer-wise, I forget, but it's Mando and Grogu. There is a slotted December date, which a lot of people have said Disney is not pressuring Lucasfilm to meet. So that date sort of means nothing. But the one that they are considering is next May. Or no, sorry, it's 2027 May. So that's a couple Mays away. That one, or is Mando and Grogu 2026? Maybe it's 20. Anyway, doesn't matter. The Mando and Grogu is coming out eventually, but the release date they do have some emphasis on is the May 2027 because that is the 15th anniversary of Star Wars, and they would very much apparently like to launch something that day. And a lot of people have suggested it would be Episode 10. I mean, it's kind of interesting that it's Rey, but I also think it's because Daisy Ridley has sort of the most open schedule of that cast, unfortunately for her. She hasn't really been anything that big outside of the Murder on the Orient Express or whatever. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I mean, Kinberg is not a good choice. I don't think Sean Levy is a good choice. It sounds like Disney just wants, hey, they've got their Marvel coming back. They've got Toy Story 5. They have Ice Age 6. They have all this going. They need to figure out Star Wars in a big way. But I also think the brand's kind of tarnished because you need to make a Star Wars film for everyone, and it became more about a bunch of losers who didn't like The Last Jedi and stuff. So I think it's sort of messed everything up in that regard. Even when I talk to kids, it's more of a boy thing, and it used to be an everyone thing. And I think if I'm running Star Wars, you need to do they need to figure out a lot with that brand, but I don't know. We'll see what happens there. People are saying Kathleen Kennedy will leave right after Mandalorian and all that stuff. Who knows? But I think the only thing they've really pushed since the thing, I mean, they haven't released a movie since Rise of Skywalker. I don't, unless I'm forgetting something, but it's the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda have sort of taken over the brand at this point. I think the TV shows sort of work a little better, but they need to sort of figure out. Do you think the fact that the Mandalorian has already been shot because of? No, I don't think the Mandalorian. Well, because I talked a little bit about, I'll bring this up, is that there was like, remember, I think I talked about how Pedro Pascal's actual studio, or sorry, schedule was being debated in the press because it was so tight with Fantastic Four and this and that and stuff. So I think it wouldn't be just because his schedule is so tight, even though he's doing just voice stuff. So I don't, I get why you would think that, but I don't think that's true. But we'll see. Um, my feeling on it is it just sounds desperate. It's not really as good as doing, like, what are you gonna do with a Ray trilogy? You know, it's like, it's a cool idea, but it's not. I also think it's too soon. Like, the thing with Star Wars is you kind of gotta give it a break, and they really, I think the shows can do that. But I don't know. There's some thought that Kinberg apparently worked on Star Wars Rebels a bit, and him and Dave Filoni worked well, and that could sort of work out. But I'm like, I don't know. The other thing with Star Wars is, like, we announced so much. They announced so much shit. It's like hard to, like, is the Taika Waititi movie still not canceled? But like, Kevin Feige announced a Star Wars movie. This person's had a Star, like, so many people have announced them, and they haven't worked out. So I'm sort of like not really 100% that this will even happen. Is it worth even talking about? Is it just like the press? Everyone sees that they can have a big story off of this, which is why I sort of didn't want to lead with this, because it's like this could be something that never happened. So I just don't see. I sort. I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be better to build Ray up a little bit before they do this, but also like let people be like, oh my god, she's back as Ray, and like there really hasn't been. If this comes out in 2027, that's the shortest time between trilogies we've ever had, because I think it was like 10 years between prequels and sequels, and a lot more between the original and the prequels, and this just seems like, I don't know. But I am curious, like, what's going to happen after that. What's it, the Star Wars show this fall or this winter? Like, how's that going to change stuff? So I don't know. To me, like, they need to figure this out and maybe actually hire someone who's interesting. I don't think they really know. Get the Scavengers Reign people, make a Star Wars thing. Like, that's what people. This is the people want. So the Batman thing, basically, we learned that because the Penguin is just wrapping up, that there's been this rumor for a long time that there'll be another Batman show of a villain after the Batman 2. A lot of people think that could be Joker. Some people think it could be Catwoman. The point is there will be a show between them. Now, that's not what makes this interesting. What makes this interesting is that on Threads, the only thing that I've heard interesting happening on Threads is James Gunn shot this down. Now, before you go, why is that a big deal? James Gunn and Matt Reeves are sort of operating separately, where Matt Reeves has this sort of Batman thing over here, and James Gunn would eventually recast Batman for Batman Brave and the Bold. James Gunn responding to a rumor sort of randomly, it felt a little odd. Actually, a Devin Faraci rumor, so if you remember him, I guess he's back to doing scoops again. I used to like that guy. I kind of feel like he got... Anyway, I'm not getting into that whole thing. But, okay, I am more for season 2 of Scavengers Reign. What if you did season 2, you do Star Wars, and you just do season... anyway. You do a season, do a Star Wars, do a season, go back and forth. Anyway, so James Gunn responding to on his Threads to this rumor is highly odd because, well, first off, why would he respond to it? Why wouldn't Matt Reeves? And, like, what is going on? There's been a long theory that that Warner's was basically like, we don't want two Batmans. That's a bad idea. Just, like, make Pattinson the Batman in the DCU thing or whatever. Oh, hey, Glass and Cameron. It's okay that you're late. I don't think that this entirely suggests that, but it is odd because he really hasn't been involved in clearing up Matt Reeves' rumors and why he chose this one of all things. One that, like, we won't get any confirmation for a while because the Batman 2 isn't even started shooting. So it's like kind of, supposedly that one will take place of the Joker. I don't know. it to me, but it is odd that it's kind of hinting at the possibility of more, and there isn't. So far, we don't know anything, but it's like kind of suggesting something could be going on. Maybe he was just like, Matt Reeves asked me to, why not? But he didn't say that. So he just like sort of responded to this rumor that I don't think anyone was wondering that much. Like I had heard it, but it wasn't a big thing. And then he sort of made it a big thing. So like why? There's a lot of questions of like, I don't know. I do think like James Gunn maybe gets on the social media too much, and maybe this is just like one of the reasons he shouldn't, because it's made everyone go, what's going on there? And maybe there is something there, maybe there isn't, but sometimes it's better to shut the fuck up. Oh, he has been doing that. Okay, thank you, Cornbread. I didn't know that. But it's still a little odd. I don't know. Maybe we're all just reading into stuff. Maybe this and the Star Wars thing was just that. So Denzel Washington gave a Today Show interview promoting Gladiator 2, and he basically just lists off all the projects he's involved in, including Black Panther 3, because he said Ryan Coogler is writing a part for him. What that part is, I don't know. But then he says, like, Othello, King Lear, and then he's going to retire, which was kind of surprising. It was weird because, like, he does this whole thing. At first you're like, whoa, he's in Black Panther 3? And then you're like, wait, he's retiring? Kudos to him. I think, he's had a great career. He's had one of the best film careers of all time. If he wants to retire, he should. It'd be cool to see him in Black Panther 3 and do a Ryan Coogler movie. That would be, amazing. But I am kind of sad that, like, we're nearing the end of the Denzel Washington filmography. But it's like, he's sort of done it all. I don't know what he always brings it. He always does a great performance. I sometimes think people undervalue everything he brings to stuff, but I'm excited to see him in Gladiator 2. I'm not the biggest Gladiator fan, but I'm excited to see him. I'm not sure what's going on with the Euphoria thing. I'm not a big fan of Euphoria, but to me it sounds like it's probably not happening, but the HBO says, every time there's a rumor, it's not, it is, whatever. I don't know why I put it on here. All right, so okay. So one of the things that's interesting about the Mickey 17, sorry, I realized I didn't have. Okay. One of the things that's interesting about the Mickey 17 move was apparently actually, if anyone has a super chat so I can drink some energy drink, that would be appreciated. I'm fading a little bit here. Sorry to beg or anything. Apparently what happened, one of the facets of the Mickey 17 move was the trailer for Companion was doing very well, and WB was worried actually about the idea of not having an IMAX, because Mickey 17 had an IMAX agreement. So one of the reasons that they thought of moving it was for that, and Companion has gotten the IMAX screens, which is interesting that there was sort of a bonus to that. I think that's probably something that really worked out for that movie at the very least, was that move. But I think it's probably also like if you're trying to leverage possibly Pattinson and the DCU, I'm sure you want to give him a better shot, and I think April does that as well. And it might just be a better strategic move, although a lot of people suggest it's going to be a bomb and they're just trying to keep moving it down the road. But Companion did get IMAX screens because of it. A lot of blockbusters, like sudden blockbusters, have big openings because the kind of playing field is levied for them. The original Twilight actually was supposed to come out at the same time as one of the Harry Potters, and they pushed it back to 2009 to 2008, and it left that weekend open for Twilight. So it's actually not totally unheard of. So Hiro Murai, who is he's directed Atlanta, he directed the This Is America video, he did some Mr. and Mrs. Smith, he did some of The Bear, he's a pretty well-regarded TV director, has announced a A24 movie, actually, a samurai epic I believe it's called a samurai epic movie with A24 called Bushido. We don't know anything about it, but Ari Aster is producing. Despite being in a TV heavy time, we don't have a lot of directors who start in TV and then become big film directors. We have people who do big projects, but they don't become big names. He has the potential to do that. He is a really good director, honestly. I'm curious what this could be, particularly with Ari Aster. It's interesting, but we don't know anything. I noticed these A24 things. It's like, this director is doing a movie. What's it about? We won't tell you, but they're making another one. And this is another one of those from A24. But Hiro Murai is doing his own movie. I think that could really work out. Man, we're like going through this faster than I imagined. Oh well. Did I skip? I mean, I don't know. Euphoria wasn't that interesting. Okay. So the Family Guy holiday special got a trailer. It is coming out November 25th. This is their Christmas special. I'll probably end up reviewing that as well. I'm just gonna, if anyone wants to give me a super chat, that would be appreciated, but I'm gonna take a swig because I don't want to fall asleep. Apologies. Yes, it looked like a fun holiday special. I hope it is maybe a little more standout-ish than like the Halloween one, which, did its job, but I don't know if I really ever think about it. So I'm hoping for a better showing this time. It looked like a fine enough Christmas special. I don't know what to take for that. So the Mystery Science Theater Thanksgiving or Turkey Day stream, this has been a thing for me, I guess, since did they do the first one in 2013 that they started streaming it? Bringing it back. They are doing a thing on Twitch where they'll play the old Turkey Days with the bumpers. I think it's like every Thursday. But this Turkey Day, on actual Thanksgiving, which is the big, supposedly it's a U.S. holiday, but it's also the big Mystery Science Theater holiday. We have next drink caramel tea for the challenge. I don't know what that is, but thank you, Classic Cameron. Cheers to you. This year, they're doing sort of an all-star favorite, kind of letting celebrities, I guess, and people who work on Mystery Science Theater pick their favorite Mystery Science Theater episode. Those include, and I noticed the lead ones is Jonah Ray, who's sort of hosting it, and, Joel and people like that. But I want to bring up one that I noticed isn't mentioned is Matthew Lillard is actually in here. He picked The Castle of Fu Manchu. Emily Marsh picked The Killer Shrews. Kumail Nanjiani is going to do Overdrawn at the Memory Bank. These are all announced. Brian Fuller is doing Werewolf. Obviously, Mary Jo Pehl is picking Space Mutiny. Mike Flanagan is picking Hobgoblins. Jeez. Samson vs. the Vampire Woman is picked by David Dushmalin, whatever. He was in that Night of the Devil, whatever. Anyway, that's cool that he's doing it. Mark Hamill's picking Gamera vs. Jiger. Joel Hodgson picks The Final Sacrifice. Felicia Day picks Manos, The Hands of Fate, which is, I'm going to be honest with you, a weak choice. I'm going to judge her for that. I think, Manos, I think, is one of the greatest comedy comedy movies of all time, if you're asking me. But you don't pick it's like Manos is like the one. Just pick a different whatever. I guess it's fine. It's fine watching Manos. I'm sure when that's on, I'll end up watching it, but it's not the most creative choice. Oh, I didn't know that about that tea. Okay, thank you. I wasn't going to do it anyway. And then finally, Jonah Ray picks The Mask, which I think is one he did. Am I wrong about that? Anyway, should be cool. I'm not sure the ratio of which host is going to be in it the most or anything like that. I would like, and I'll bring this up again, I would like caramel tea? Whatever. I would like Mike Nelson to make an appearance in here, but I like that Matthew Lillard, not a fan I knew about. Kumail Nanjiani, he's friends with Jonah. That's like a given. It's like big deal. But Mark Hamill. I knew Mark Hamill's been a fan, but Matthew Lillard, that one I'm excited. But that's like it's on like during the parade. I'm not gonna get to watch that. So somebody tell me. I hope Matthew Lillard's thing is fun because I'm excited for that one. But yeah, apparently their Twitch stream is doing past Turkey Days kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool. So if you're into that stuff, I would suggest checking it out. But I usually just have it on in the background. I usually just get to. That's actually usually what I watch on Thanksgiving on my phone. I'll like sleepily watch a Mystery Science Theater episode, which I've done quite a few times. There's probably some I've seen and I do not remember because I watch them that way. Alright, so box office stuff. Let's talk about the box office because there's some interesting stuff and there's some we're basically sort of like next weekend we'll get to talk about how the red one bombs, so that'll be fun. But until then, and then the massive Thanksgiving box office, we are where we are. Venom is still number one. It's made about 114 million. It's kind of just like coasting because it's been number one for 3 weeks. But it just like keeps coasting in success. Despite like, I don't really like. I'm not saying there's not a superhero fatigue because I like superhero movies or something. But I think will not forget about the Lynn Ramsey news. Scrat Short Blue Sky Workers made was all I needed. That's true. I think that's kind of what I know. I am curious how they handle all that. But anyway, cheers to you, Malcolm. Appreciate it. Anyway, sorry. I was going to talk about that after this, actually. But I didn't forget, Will. Don't worry. Venom: The Last Dance. Yeah, I don't love the superhero fatigue thing because you look at something like how Venom: The Last Dance is doing. You're like, I mean, that's not. It feels like it's you're able to coast like it's 2019 or something. And supposedly it might actually internationally outgross Venom 2. So to me, like that. Anyway, I don't know if I'll see Venom 3 or not. Heretic. Ended up actually in the estimates. It seemed like it kept fighting the best Christmas pageant ever. They're very close, within like 250,000 of each other. With the best, Heretic and the best Christmas pageant. That's good for both Lionsgate and A24. The best Christmas pageant ever is Lionsgate's only kind of success recently. The Wild Robot keeps losing theaters, but is only going down 11% and is just like still at number 4, as well as Smiles, who's doing all right. The big one that I think surprised people is kind of all the smaller movies on here. It's like something like Conclave, which has made $21 million somehow. Anora is doing very well. Here is not, but We Live in Time is doing well. All these films are like doing decent, which is actually good for smaller movies. It's actually a good time for smaller stuff. Currently, they're all doing very good. The one surprise on here, sorry, what was it called? I now cannot find it. But there is a Cillian Murphy movie, which actually surprised people because nobody had really heard of it, and it's what's it called? Not Peaky Blind. Anyway, he's in a movie presently in theaters, and it's actually not doing well, which kind of surprised people because I think most people thought, he was just in Oppenheimer. He was kind of a big deal in that. Man, it's not even coming up under Google. When I Google his name, what's going on now? Okay, Jesus. Anyway, it was kind of the talk of a lot of movie stuff because you'd think you win best actor, you're in $1 billion movie that would represent small things like these. Which, where is that even? Number 14, Omen at 14. It's honestly kind of surprising, but it kind of shows you the time we're in. But also, like, I didn't even hear of him doing press. about it. It's cool he did a film from Ireland, but a lot of people are saying like this is just kind of getting abandoned. I sort of agree because I haven't really heard much talk about it at all. But I don't know, like, maybe he didn't give a shit, maybe he didn't like it, maybe he was too busy, especially after a Best Actor win and, being in a big leading a big Christopher Nolan movie. But it is surprising that, he wasn't doing more like talk shows and stuff like that. I heard. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it was kind of the big movie story that everyone was talking about, how this just didn't do well. So, oh yeah, I saw the Nosferatu. If you go to certain theaters in the country, there's Nosferatu coffins, and I saw one. I need to post that. I did post on Blue Sky. I saw the what is that stupid Spellbound movie? Someone had a Spellbound car, which is clearly promotional. It was just like really weird. I took pictures of it, like weird promotion. But yeah, box office right now, we're sort of just waiting for the wave of Thanksgiving, which, to be honest with you, I think is going to be worse than Christmas this year in terms of three big releases. I think Wicked and Gladiator, you might have two films possibly make over 100 million, at least over 70, and then right after you have Moana too. So I think like whatever that Thanksgiving box office is going to be really interesting. What's going to happen there? We recently saw some images of the new Lynn Ramsey movie starring Jennifer Lawrence. That's not as a box, so I'm just saying that. I like Lynn Ramsey a lot. I still need to edit the review I shot of her, the one she did with Joaquin Phoenix. But that's really cool. I'm glad Jennifer Lawrence is doing more interesting stuff. I felt like she was sort of lost in the weeds for a little bit after the Red Sparrow and the Don't Look Up and stuff. But like this and the comedy she did, No Hard Feelings, is that it? I think is gonna kind of shows she's back to being her interesting self, and I think her and Lynn Ramsey could be a real interesting combo. But the few images I saw, I liked. I'm very into that idea that she is back. I think this is going to be. I think this could be really cool. I hope it works out, but we'll see. I don't know. It comes out next year, I believe. So we'll see. What's going to happen? What's going to happen there? Because it's just like not. Was it Robert Pattinson, Jennifer Lawrence, Lakeith Stanfield? But yeah, they don't. I don't know. The few images look neat. I mean, I don't know. I feel like hopefully that'll do well enough as the stars up, but who knows? Oh, and apparently this includes box office. The Seven Samurai re-release is still playing, so if you want to see the 4K re-release in theaters, I recommend it. All right, what do we have? The Sacrifice. Is that anyway? Sorry. This is just what I do with box office things. I guess we're just gonna do. Okay, wow. This was not the biggest news week. Was everybody just distracted with something? I don't know. Reminder: this is next week. There'll be a show, but not the week after. So if you want to make one of the live streams, you can only do so next week, and then Thanksgiving I won't have one. Okay, any super chats would be appreciated. But before I take a break, let's talk about the two obits. Tony Todd, who is was the Candyman, but also a pretty tremendous supporting actor. When I watched The Crow recently, when I did the review of the original one, I was like, he is like a really good supporting actor. He's a really good character actor. He had an amazing voice. Just like in a ton of movies, never really didn't bring it. Like the entire time, he really brought his best to some of these roles, and I actually think part of the reason The Crow works is because of him. But Candyman, I was actually, when I was in New Orleans, I was looking at his like best New Orleans horror movies, and it seemed like universally Candyman is considered the best New Orleans horror movie. Which you know what? To be honest, there should be more. It seems the big three are Interview with the Vampire, Candyman, and then Skeleton Key. Those are like the big. I feel like there should be more. Maybe there's ones I don't know about or forgot about, or people in the list. So I did talk about Ice Age 6 like a while ago. by the way, Classic Cameron. I'm sorry you missed it. It was earlier in the show. But that, I was sad by Tony Todd because I was rethinking about him after watching The Crow again. Um, and yeah, but you know what? He was a great actor. I'm glad we got time with him, as well as an amazing makeup artist, Paul Engner. Paul Engler, I guess. Sorry, I'm not saying this right. So let me. Paul Eng. Paul, no, sorry, Paul Englund, a British makeup artist who worked on everything from Phantom Menace to Gladiator to the '94 Frankenstein to Phantom Thread to you know Game of Thrones, Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale. He just did a ton of stuff and a big legend in the industry. Deserves a lot of credit. We don't really talk about people like that enough. Discord was thankfully enough one of the what reminded me of him. Is Candyman taken in Chicago? Candyman 1982. Does it? Why was it coming up in New Orleans then? Did they mean the new one or something? Oh yeah. Why is it listed then? University of Illinois. That's weird. Do they mean the new one? That's also Chicago. Why did people say that then? I just took that. It's been a while. What? Why did people say that? Huh? What? What? The second one is set in New Orleans. Okay, maybe that's the confusion. Let me look up horror movies in New Orleans. Maybe I'm... And now it's separate movies. That's interesting. When I was in New Orleans, different things came up. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Candyman was like right up here. Now it's like the Boogeyman and Wounds. I don't even know what that is. Huh. A house on the bottom. Yeah, I didn't see. Man, it really does change with the your searches where you're at. Huh. That's weird. Interesting. Okay, anyway. Um Red said he's also chief makeup artist on Little Shop of Horrors. I know that movie's main claim to fame is rightfully its puppeteering, but also does a lovely job of capturing that Broadway camp with how every character looks. Goes a long way giving that film the feel it has and won't be the way it was without him. Rest in peace. Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, not sure why I thought it was... Thank you for correcting me. Alright, I'm going to take a break. Then we will talk about A Grand Day Out, the Wallace and Gromit, the first Wallace and Gromit short. Because I would like to review... you know what? I didn't realize there was a fourth one. Somehow. I don't know why I didn't know that. But I wouldn't mind reviewing at least the first original three before the new movie comes out. We'll see how far I get, but I'm attempting to do one tonight, and we'll see if we ever get further. I've seen the first three. I didn't know about A Matter of Life and Death, which Ryan Walterson said was good, so I'll take his word for it. Anyway, I'm going to take a break, use the bathroom and all that. I did, big news tonight, I figured out the bumper thing and fixed it. So it will be the traditional awesome bumper by Ace the Wind Rider. I'll be right back. Please get some super chats ready for when I come back. That would be appreciated. But until then, I'll see you in a second, and we'll talk about Wallace and Gromit, A Grand Day Out. Okay, I'm back. Happy birthday, Austin. Congratulations. Happy birthday from Hot Frosty. Is everybody watching? I'm curious. It's just such a ridiculous. Maybe we didn't talk about. Anyway, happy birthday. Maybe if everyone can sing happy birthday in their homes, I guess. To Austin for a happy birthday. That would be appreciated. Um yeah, so Hot Frosty, I guess I didn't explain this. Basically, Lacey Chabert puts a magical scarf on a snowman who's made to look like a beefcake guy, and then he becomes a real guy, and then they fall in love and stuff. And that's like the whole movie. I didn't get that far, but the it's really weird. Anyway, uh, Hot Frosty. It's on Netflix. It's the big movie where she falls in love with a snowman. She doesn't fall in love with Santa or like some guy from her high school who now does like uh, woodwork or something. Anyway, have you thought about checking out Arcane, Dante? First off, cheers to you. Thank you very much. I have, but I haven't at all. But I would like to. It's honestly more the time. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched the third episode of Invincible Fight Girl, and I would like to do that. What? Um, Westinator, that's funny. But I would like to. I don't really know much about it, but it's more just like having time to do it between doing this and everything. Moomin? Yes, that is Moomin. That's Moomin. I just, honestly, I didn't even. It was already here, and I just propped it up. Because we're a big movie. I have a Moomin mug. Might be getting dry. Anyway, Moomin rules. Moomin's cool. It's also weird. Not all kid stuff is weird. All kid stuff is fucking dull as shit. But we need more. How are kids gonna have weird thoughts? Like watching normal stuff? They're just gonna have boring thoughts. Everybody wants their kids to be Matchbox 20, and I don't want that. So it's like a melted Wendy's Frosty. Yes, this woman fell in love with a melted Wendy's Frosty. That's exactly. I mean, it's basically the plot of the snow. Well, first off, cheers to you, Austin. Cheers to you. It's basically the plot of the Snowman. The Christmas special. Except like with romance, and he's not a snowman. He's a hot guy. So it's basically what we needed. Apparently, it's like good at doing the whole like owning itself, which I haven't seen. It just seems like a movie I can like watch on my couch and have a few beers with. Like that's honestly what I think its main purpose is. I don't see it doing much of anything else. But anyway, hold on. Wait, what? Wait, Classic Cameron says, okay, whoa, okay, hold on. Classic Cameron said, did you hear about Penn Ward's new Adult Swim pilot? I did not. Is that out? I didn't hear it. Whoa, that's cool. I love his stuff, so I hope that's true. Cheers to you, Classic Cameron. Thank you for telling me about that. I like, man, his super chats are coming in fast now. Jose Empire said Jim thinks Bluey's dull, confirmed. Maybe not Bluey, but all the like kids on adventure things. But cheers to these Empires. When that comes out, I will 100% review it. The same with that Mike Judge show. That seemed really cool. I'm like super excited for that. It's harder to keep up with Adult Swim now they don't have cable, though. I will say it's like harder to, I don't know, maybe, and especially moving to Blue Sky. I think I follow most of the Adult Swim stuff, but maybe. Anyway, I will totally review that because I liked, his other two shows. Anyway, cheers to using Paris. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm telling you, we need more Hot Frosties in this world. You know what's funny? I like that everyone embraced Hot Frosty, and that costs like what it costs like a day. Uh, um, of Red One costs, and like I haven't heard anyone be excited for that. The Rock had to talk about drinking his own pee to get people to care about that movie, and Hot Frosty just needed to show up. Okay, so Stay Alive thing. I didn't know you're Dante. I did not know you're from NOLA. Okay, NOLA's a great place. I was just there. If you see stickers, then scan it and be like, this is amazing. Also, check out Future Shock Video, Dante. It's great. But yeah. Anyway, let's make this Christmas weird. I mean, Christmas is at best when it's weird. All right. Let's talk about the segment tonight. You know, before I was like, we'll probably end early. And now I'm like, oh, we're having a good time though. A Grand Day Out. This is the first Wallace and Gromit short film, or Wallace and Gromit anything, I believe, from 1989. This is directed, animated, and co-written by Nick Park, and it premiered at in a gallery in Bristol, England, which would then set off everything after this. This is, I think, what we think of as Wallace and Gromit. And when we think of Aardman, and we think of like all this cool, like crazy, action sequences and all these set pieces and stuff, it's kind of weird to like. I saw these there was like some VHS tape with all three of the shorts, and not the. Side note: it looks like A Matter of Loaf and Death came out. What? Anyway, I did not know there was a fourth one, and it's really throwing me off. It came out in 2008, which is way after the movie. Anyway, whatever. We're gonna. Anyway, sorry. Blah blah. This will be cut out. Future Jim will be like, "What a dick! Why do you even mention that?" This is just for me. Isn't everything that I make here just for me to a degree? But anyway, it is weird to watch like what we know as present day Aardman, where they have like all these crazy silent gags and all this like if you look at like a Shaun the Sheep thing, you look at the later Wallace and Gromit, we kind of expect that. This is so toned down, and I hadn't seen it for a long time that I was surprised, because it's basically like Wallace is like has a bunch of crackers for his tea. He wants to get cheese. He's out of cheese. He goes, we need to find somewhere to get cheese. And then he has a magazine called Cheese Vacation. He has 2 magazines that are cheese related, which is more magazines than I was aware of that had anything to do with cheese. So instead of going to the store, which would probably be a lot more practical and way less of an interesting short, they decide to build a rocket and go to the moon, because the moon is made of cheese, which, makes sense. So they do that. And go to the moon to just take some cheese, but there's a robot there why wouldn't there be a robot on the moon? It's a moon made of cheese. You can have a robot there too. Why not? And the robot basically wants to kick them out, but then sees one of Wallace's magazines of skiing and gets obsessed with skiing. And that's sort of the whole short. There's nothing more there. The robot's barely an adversary. I do think this was part of... I would give more credit to Studio Ghibli for this, but this was sort of the beginning of animation moving away from the big villain, which I don't think Disney's ever really gone away from, but making that less cool, basically. But it is sort of like a very chill short, which I really actually liked about it. Gromit, I think, like most of the personalities of them, I don't think are as solidified in my mind, but it plays so well. I kind of just liked watching him go on this. It sort of reminds me of stuff like Winsor McKay's early work, particularly with the Nemo and Dreamland comics. But just because it's like such a slight sort of thing, and it's very English, obviously, like, you're having your tea, you're having your crackers, and you're gonna have your cheese. Now we don't have cheese. What are we gonna do? And like, I love that it's like unabashedly itself. Nick Park did a great job with this. I know that. So he originally, wanted to make this like a really long thing, and it was going to have like references to Star Wars and be like this like 25-minute like or 45-minute thing or something. There's going to be a fast food restaurant, all this crazy stuff. It was going to be 40 minutes long, and then he was like, wow, that's going to take a long time. So it became what this is, and I'm super glad, even though I will say, like, I think the only thing that got close to like a ton of references from it, which is not something they really do, was the second Shaun the Sheep movie, which I really actually like a lot. So maybe that would have been better, although that sounds like seeing a bunch of Star Wars references in a movie is not as appealing to me as it used to be. But I really do love this short, and it has such a great energy to it. Also, this is kind of a funny fact. It's just like chill. If you're gonna go to the moon for cheese, might as well have a chill adventure. So this was nominated for most of the Wallace and Gromit shorts were nominated for Best Animated Feature. This did not win because it lost to Nick Park's other movie, Creature Comforts. So of the three, the other two won Oscars. This didn't because Nick Park had to compete with himself. And of course, Nick Park wins a lot of Oscars. I think he has the most animation Oscars of any English animator, if I'm correct on that. But it is pretty wild that I've never heard of that one before. Usually, like, you cannibalize yourself or something like that. And no, he didn't. Like, but Creature Comforts is a really great short. I should probably review it on here as well at some point. Maybe not as momentous. Like, Grand Day Out maybe is not as momentous as that one was. That was considered like a pretty big short, and it played like on TV and stuff. But in a way, he was the big winner and loser because there was another short in there that wasn't done by him. But maybe I don't know. Maybe he creatively consulted or something. Maybe this isn't as crazy as The Wrong Trousers or A Close Shave, but it's a nice kind of chill start. I wish this was more available. I almost played this for my kids tonight. I didn't get to. But it is a wonderful, cute, like, journey to the moon. And, like, I like that. It sort of reminds, like, La Luna did the same thing, where it's, like, a nice little chill space adventure. And we don't have to always, hear about how no one will hear you scream or all this crazy stuff. It can sometimes just be a journey to get some cheese for your tea. And I also like that they added that different regions of the moon have different kinds of cheeses. I thought that was really cool. So he clearly thought about this. Although this is not as crazy, they're all available on Amazon, like to pay for. Let me just finish this and I'll look that up. Although this is not as crazy as what Aardman would be known for, and maybe the technical mastery that they are now, it's still a very wonderful little short. It's very kind of a nice, chill, wonderful way to think about going to the moon and coming back and having, a nice little tea time. Is it really on Prime? Because it actually, like, hold on. Grand Day Out Prime. Is it like a pay thing? Oh, it's unavailable in my region, so that is why. Cornbread, where are you at that you can watch it? I can't watch it here. There's no Evil Penguin in A Grand Day Out. Nothing like that. Yeah, it's not available in my region, man. Sorry. But I should rip it and put it on Plex or something. Anyway, let me get the Patreon questions. If you so inclined, I'm sorry I bring up the super chats. I just, need money and all those things. But if this is your last chance, if you wanted to do it. No, the shorts. There's a shorts collection. Hold on. I'll look again. Hold on. Wallace Gromit Shorts Collection Prime. Oh, okay. They do it in a weird way because when I searched it, I will say for the record, when I searched it, it would not come up individual. That's annoying. Okay, well, thank you for that. You need Prime to... Well, yes, you do need Prime to watch it. But, okay, I will remember Can I put it on my watch list? Thank you for that, Cornbread. I was watching it through a really stupid way. Are you in the I don't actually know where Cornbread is. You don't need to tell us. It's okay. All right, I'm gonna write questions below. Thank you, Red. It's all on Prime. I listed a Daily Motion link for everyone. I did notice that I could notice the questions below. Nathaniel Fogler, I'll just answer this. Favorite cut of beef? Steak, I guess? I don't know what kind of. Anyway, sorry. I answered it anyway. When is Wallace and Gromit going to partner with Prime Energy Drink? Probably anytime soon. All right, let's do the Patreon one. Sorry. Sinram asks, has there ever been a better peeing in a bottle scene than the one from Dumb and Dumber? I can't think of one, so no, I don't think there is. Also, seriously, he did do a good comment. I know, long comment. Also, Norbert Daniel, I don't know if anyone remembers him. He did a great comment on my Chronicle review, also. So check those out. I recommend both those comments. Nathaniel Foga asks, other than Ice Age, what's another theatrical animated franchise you can see reaching a sixth entry? Toy Story or Frozen. I actually think it's weird to me when I watch Big Hero 6 that there is not a sequel to that movie. Like, there should be a time, like, after we watch it, everyone's like, wait, there's not a sequel? It's like that show. It's like the perfect one for a sequel. And like, anyway, Medilla Butterfly, thank you very much for your super chat. Cheers to you. Thank you very much. And of course we have the infamous, the famous, the final Patreon question every night from Austin said, hey Jim, what a great show. By the time you're reading this, it will be my birthday. I might be asleep or watching, but my question is, for you, what are your thoughts on The Sopranos? I love The Sopranos, actually. I watched it with my wife, I think like 10 years ago we watched all of it. It's a wonderful show. I really, really liked it quite a bit. I think it is kind of one of the great dramas of our time, but it's once you get in, it's like really hard to not watch it all. I would say if you never checked it out, I think it is a really wonderful. I know it's sort of like a cliche almost, but it is a really wonderful watch of a show. 100%. All right. Now thoughts on Epic Mickey. I don't really know what that is, so I have no thoughts. From Javier Portela. Cornbread said, I forgot if you talked about Skeleton Crew last week or not. It's all kind of a blur, but I was thinking this week, how does it feel knowing we're almost done with Cantana Wolfman questions? Feels good. I do want to do Captain EO. I would like to do all these Wallace and Gromit shorts, but we'll see how many we get through. But hey, I did the first one, so that review will come out soon. Or eventually, I don't know. Austin asks, did you hear in Red One the bad guy is a gorilla? I didn't hear that. That's okay. I feel like my kids will watch that on streaming, but I'm not going to theaters for that one. That's Zane Powers. There's a report going around right now that Disney plans to make Andrew Wilson, CEO of the big video game company EA, their next CEO. Do you believe it? No. I just don't. I don't know him very well, but they usually like push from within. So, I'm not sure, honestly, who you would get. It's not as obvious as it's ever been, but I mean, who knows? Because they really don't. They really don't know what they're doing. So I can understand if there's rumors like that going on. Bloxy asks, in the vein of PP rock bottles, what's the craziest story you've heard from a celebrity that was confirmed? I guess the Kim Cattrall MST3K thing, because there's always been sort of a rumor, and having her when I was at the, I guess it's the Mads event, that one was pretty wild because nobody expected that, and she showed up and stuff. Trying to think if there's anything other. That's like, to me, like the ultimate one for me. That's the only one I can think of. That she actually did send in the flowers, and she was finding out there were friends. I would say that one. Yeah, I can't think of a crazier one. So, Zane Powers, since Zachary Levi won, does that mean he's a trailblazer that will raise to superstar? No, I think he's done. He's done. I mean, that's the funny thing is like he was so for that, but like, what happened with I? To me, it's like the thing with him is like he. I don't think he was ever good at picking projects, but I also think like his schmarminess never came off authentically. You could sort of tell he thought what he was reading was the cleverest thing he'd ever read, but not with any critical thinking skills. So I don't know. I never saw Chuck, and I always heard that was better. So anyway, questions. Ever had Frito pie? I believe I have, and I thought it was good at the time. Not plausible. Did you know that Wallace and Gromit are created with saving Wissendale cheese? Kids love Wallace and Gromit and demanded Wissendale from their parents. It financially saved the company. I didn't know that. That's cool. Thank you for that. Not plausible. Bloxy Oxenwingle says, "What is the best animation style for a Paul Blart adaptation or continuation?" It either has to be the worst Flash ever or the greatest stop motion ever, and I expect one or the other. It can't be either. Nothing else, either one or the other. Cornbread. So yeah, the Nosferatu coffin is cool and all, but like, where's the Nosferatu trailer? It's it's coming out next month. They put a trailer. What's up? You know what's funny? I thought about putting that in here. But I was like, I shouldn't keep that joke going, but I'm glad somebody did. I really thought about that like yesterday. I was like, man, I should put that in the script, and I didn't. I don't know why. Nathaniel Foga, favorite sort of cheese and what kind of cracker goes well with it? I actually like Gouda, and I like kind of like, I guess Gouda that's aged a bit is like really good. But I'm very into Gouda, to be honest with you. Just like a nice cracker. I'm not really into the real fancy crackers. Some of the Ritz is good with me. Dante says, have you seen any non-Toho Kaiju, Gamera, Damashimon, Death Kappa movies that you like? We used to watch Gamera a lot as a kid. I've seen the War of the Colossals or something. I keep seeing Sci-Fi Ninja Theater recommend that, and I'm like, maybe I should get more into those, especially as me and the kids are watching more of the Godzilla stuff. It's again more of a time thing, but I think I've seen most of the Gameras as a kid, but it's been a while. So, question: are you absolutely crackers for cheese? Yes. Ratboy Mickey, go-to hot dog what? Oh, go-to hot dog toppings? I'm usually just like pretty ketchup and mustard, maybe sauerkraut, but like if you ever go, there's this, if you're ever in Reykjavik, they have a really great taco stand there, and they put like a ton of stuff on it, but it's like super good, and I forget what it is, but it was wonderful. Zane Powers, do you think audiences would have liked Joker Folie à Deux if it wasn't a musical? No, I think it would have bombed to a certain... Well, they also overspent, so that's part of it. I don't know, part of me is like, I need to see the substance, and I would like to do like a double feature. And like, do I do Joker 2 and Anora, or do I do Anora and Venom 3? That's the real question. I should maybe just do if anyone in the chat wants to figure that out, maybe I should do a poll or something. It's really based on show times. It'll be like Anora and whatever fits in, to be honest with you. Ratboy Mickey, sorry. Godzilla or Gamera? I mean, Godzilla, I think. Gamera's, I don't know. Medilla Butterfly, what are you watching? When are you watching Eli Strauss Thanksgiving this year? I actually thought about it, and I was like, maybe I should watch that. After doing that. I don't know. After doing dishes. Hold on. Sorry. I'm like starting to fade. Shrek can get... Okay, hold on. I agree with Shrek should get... It's like, Wes and here. What's the deal with the staircase that's always getting decorated for movie in your TikToks? Okay. So, it's basically like a staircase that's near where I work. And I just sort of was like, it's kind of fun when they have a movie thing. It's sort of just quick content, but now... At first it was just like, I'll just film it and then I'll put a song behind it. But since the Beetlejuice one, I started doing like those kind of remixes, and that's like a kind of a nice way to just be creative in my mind. So it's like, it started as just like a real like easy sort of filler thing, but now I sort of like doing the songs. So it sort of evolved. I don't know what the next one's gonna be because now they have like a stupid shoe or something ad. I don't know. I've thought of just filming it regular if they ever don't have anything because they used to not have stuff. And if they do again, I'll film that and it'll be just a Patreon thing probably. But yeah, that's the deal with that basically. Zane Powers, does every movie need to adhere to the hero's journey? No. And oftentimes when they do, they don't. So I think it's sort of overrated, that whole thing. Ratboy Mickey, what did you go as for Halloween? I'm no one's looking at me. They're looking at the kids. So I wore my Jason shirt, and that was about as far as I went. I did get everyone to watch The Omen because one part was where like my mother-in-law's father was like a preacher in England, and it was like near where I think one of the places he was. I forget the whole deal with that, but it's actually only the part where Damien refuses to go to the church, and she was like, "There it is." I go, and there it goes. But I got everyone to watch it. It's like hard. Nobody I'm related to wants to watch horror movies except for like Sophie, and we can't. I'm not going to show her The Omen, but we still need to watch The Blob. And she watched Draco's Daughter. I'm trying to work on the next generation. I got to correct this horror nonsense. Everyone's like scared of horror but hasn't seen any horror. I don't understand that, to be totally honest with you. Anyway, not plausible. How do you keep your mood up when going gets tough? Currently in tough goings. I don't know. That's hard for me. I will say as well, specifically recently. But sometimes I watch cartoons. I like watching a few cartoons with my kids almost every night. I'll be like, let's just watch a few Woody Woodpeckers or a Bugs Bunny or something. I'll watch Jellystone, the new Beavis and Butthead, The Muppet Show on Disney Plus, Mystery Science Theater. I try to watch I have like chill shows. I've thought of making a short that's just like, here's some chill stuff to watch. There's various TikTok people who are just like, hey, don't feel bad, you're okay kind of things. And I recommend any of those that you like. I think everyone should find their own. Or just meditating. I don't meditate as much as I would like. It's been a while, but that helps a lot. So, but I would say just find a show that like you can chill out to and laugh with, and that really helps. So, question: get $2 million or eat a whole ham sandwich? Like a really good ham sandwich? I don't know. If it's a general ham sandwich, I'm gonna go with $2 million. But like if it's a good ham sandwich, I don't know. I think about it. Getting anything on Black Friday? No. There's not. Black Friday's not the thing it once was, and at least in New York. I don't know. Maybe I'll get lunch. That's about it. Cornbread. We're creeping up on the 5-year anniversary of the Discord server very soon. Oh shit. Do you have any ideas of brewing to celebrate half a decade? I don't know. I hadn't thought of that. Maybe we should do a movie watch and I'll be there for the whole thing. Well, let me know when that is. Someone in the Discord, let me know. We can figure something depending on the timeline and all that. Same powers. Worst case with Hollywood nepotism and worst case where claiming someone only has a job for nepotism is an insult. Worst case, it would have to be someone who's not very good at acting. I mean, that's the thing is like, I can't think of anyone who's just in something. I don't know. Sorry, it's late and I can't think. I think Jamie Lee Curtis saying it, a lot of those people not being able to acknowledge it, I think has to do is a little pathetic. Oh man, okay. Let me try to get through these. No, we did Zane Powers. Okay, Zane Powers. If nothing but bad things happens to a person, is that not a tragedy? Is it just a bunch of boring, sad events? A little column A, column B. Zane Powers again. Thoughts on Disco Stew. I think he's pretty cool. The Wessonator. Is cheese supposed to go on a French dip? I barely know what that is, so I don't want to comment on French dip situations. Cornbread. Thoughts about shoving the Australian iconic character actor into the background on the corner of the start of the stream. The Australian icon turned 105 this week. Oh, we did. Congrats, Felix. Australia's favorite son. Question: when someone gets publicly canceled and everyone is all disappointment, How do people who get canceled after not reflecting realize their wrongdoings and what it could lead to? Okay, well, I mentioned Devin Faraci, and I always bring him up because people always go, "Oh, cancel culture." He legit like worked on himself and like went to therapy and does like Q&As with the person who sort of canceled him or whatever. And he's the only one who's done that. Like, you don't hear from Louis C.K., you don't hear Bill Cosby, you don't hear Aziz Ansari. And I think it's interesting that Devin Faraci was pretty early on, and he's really worked on himself. And I think kudos to him. But I don't understand that. To be honest with you, I think it'd be cooler if they did. But kudos to him. You know, I think he was a major movie news reporter and sort of got taken down. It sounds like he's climbing back up, but rightfully so, because I've seen him do PBS documentaries on cancel culture and stuff like that, and he doesn't come off as a crazy right-wing person, which a lot of those people have. So, you know, credit to him. If you don't like him, that's fine, but I think if you like him or not, the fact that he was able to do it responsibly and with a sense of maturity speaks a lot to his character. Javier Portillo, what art style would work for a Monster Truck animated series? It would have to be like the better parts of the Mad cartoon, I think. Zane Powers, did you ever fall victim to negativity or reactionary doomslayer media personality? No. Or if I watched some, as soon as I realized what it was, I turned it. I can't think of anyone like that. All right, I think this is the last one. I'm fading. Christian Gutierrez says, is there an anime show you really want to show your kids at least once when they get older? I think showing them Big O would be really hyped. I haven't watched Big O in a while. I'm not against that. Anime show. I wouldn't mind watching. I've been meaning to watch Lupin more. I think that would work, especially like, I think, what was it? Bad Guys is very Lupin influence, and they like that. Cowboy Bebop when they're older. I guess, what do we... I feel like we watched something. I wouldn't mind watching Future Boy Conan. I like that. I know that's like a big one for Ian and Rebecca. One of those. I'd say one of those. Astro Boy. What did we watch that was like super anime influence? And now I'm like drawing a blank. Oh, Speed Racer. We've been watching a lot of Speed Racer. So that one, actually, I haven't. We've been watching a lot of Speed Racer. My kids like Speed Racer a lot. But my son's, like, super gets into it. And my daughter, we watched Speed Racer. This is my last thing, and then I'll go to bed. We'll end it. We were watching, and I was like, my wife was mentioning the Racer X thing. I was like, don't mention it. And my kids didn't hear it. And then, like, towards the end of the Racer X episode, my daughter goes, like, is that his brother? I was like, shut up. No. Maybe she figured it out. That is one. I mean, that's oh my god. But I was like telling him, like, cool people watch Speed Racer. The Wachowskis, Kurt Cobain, somebody else maybe. I don't know. Those people are cool. But it's anyway, watching Speed Racer them is fun. It's a fucking great show. Like the way they edit, it's not that the animation is good, it's the way they edit the animation. It's like they edit it and they change stuff up so much. It's like really beautiful. And the restoration on Tubi, whoever did that did a great job, because I used to watch it looking like crap on MTV in the 90s. They played at 7:30 after Beavis and Butthead. Now that's a lineup. Beavis and Butthead and Speed Racer. Awesome. Anyway, all right. I should go. I need to go to bed. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for showing up. I will be back next week. That'll be the last one in November. So if you want to show up, do a super chat, just be here. That is the last time you can do it in November. I want to do a spontaneous one, but I don't know. I just assume that's probably the last one. But I want to thank Super Dusky, Austin, Sinram, Zane Powers, Classic Cameron, Malcolm Rampart, Dante Giselson, I think. Austin again, Classic Cameron, Zane Powers, and Medela Butterfly for the super chats. I very much appreciate it. Thank you all very much. I think this was a good show. I hope it was. If I could find a Thanksgiving one, I will do it. Anyway. All right. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope to have some out tomorrow, but who knows? You all have a good night. I appreciate it. And subscribe if you would like to, or whatever. Let's everybody just go to bed. See you later. Bye.